Hi guys, welcome back to Flow. We've decided to bring you a one-off special sequence that we've written, taking inspiration from the 12 Days of Christmas song. So we're going to start off with the first day of Christmas is going to be one movement, second day of Christmas is going to be two movements, and we're going to accumulate with each round, working all the way up to 12. Every time we come into another round, we're repeating the previous rounds. So it's going to build quite quick. It's going to be slightly longer than our other flow videos, but hopefully you're going to build a bit of strength and you're going to have some fun with it. The only thing that you will need for this, if you have one, is a plate. We're using a 5 kilo bumper plate. I've got this one here, which is a bulldog gear one. But anything that you have that will be similar, just for some of the movements, and we can get started whenever you're ready. We hope you enjoy, and thanks again for tuning in.
Movement number 1 is a WTF press. From here, we're going to reach the arms out in front, draw the hips back, bend at the knees, and lower down into that deck squat. Sit to the mat, roll back, toes up towards the sky. Bring yourself back forward, hands onto the plate, step a hop back to plank, lower down into that press up, press back to plank, hop a step forward, pick the plate up, press it up overhead, and then bring the plate back down to the ground and stand up tall to complete the rep. Movement number 2. Bring the hands down onto the plate, step back into that downward dog position. Spread the fingers, press the plate away from you, lengthening through the backs of the legs. Draw the hips up and back, and from here we're doing 2 pike push-ups. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long, we're going to bend at the elbows, squeeze the elbows in, tap the head to the top of the plate, and press back to downward dog. We're going to do 1 more rep. From your downward dog, you're going to start to walk the feet in, come back to stand at the top of the mat. From here, we're coming back into that first movement. Bend the knees, draw the hips back, sit bones to the mat, rock back, toes up tall, rolling forwards, hands to the plate. Step or hop to plank, lowering down, press back up, hop the feet forward, grab the plate, press the plate up overhead, and stand up tall. Movement number 3, hip snap burpee. Lowering both hands back down to the plate, step back into that plank. From here we're going to lower into a press up, squeeze the elbows in. From the bottom of that press up, press through the arms and lift the chest for a cobra position. From here we're going to use our core to snap our hips as high as we can and jump both feet to the plate. Stand up tall, stand up on the plate, and then back to the mat. 3 reps. Linking the breath with the movement. Last one. From here, back down to movement number 2. So, down dog push-ups, 2 reps. And back to our first movement, 1 rep. Stand up tall. Movement number 4. Taking hold of the plate, you're going to hold it up at chest height. You've got this option, or you can hold it out in front. These are weighted dragon squats. Squeezing the right knee in. I'm going to take it behind the left leg, outside edge of the foot and the knee down towards the mat, and then stand back up tall. Left side. Once more on each leg. Bringing the plate back down. Stepping back to plank, hip snap burpees. Last one. Movement number 2, pike push-ups. Then 1 WTF press. Standing up tall to finish. Movement number 5. Stepping back on the mat, bring yourself down onto your knees. Big toes together, knees a little bit wider. And then walk the hands forward, coming to a child's pose with the hands on the plate. Head and chest rest down towards the mat. From child's pose, press through the hands, round to roll forward, coming into that high plank. Lower down into a press up. Knees back to the mat. Hips back to child's pose. 4 more rounds. Try and keep that movement controlled. Knees can stay on the mat if you need to. Last one. From here, back to our weighted dragon squats. Picking the plate back up, 4 reps. Heading back to the mat, 3 hip snap burpees. Last one. Hands to the plate, step back to that downward dog position. 2 downward dog push-ups. Step or hop the feet to the mat, stand up tall, and 1 WTF press. Stand up tall, pressing the plate overhead. Stand up tall to finish the movement. Round 6 this time. Bring the hands down to the mat. Step back to your downward dog. Hands on the plate. Draw the hips back, let the head be heavy. We're going to reach our right arm back to tap our left ankle. Take the right hand back to the plate, bring the shoulders over the wrists, and then draw the hips back, left hand to right ankle. Shoulders come back forwards. 4 more. Coming back into plank, draw the hips back into downward dog. Knees down to the mat. Child's pose. 5 child's pose press-ups. Back to plank, walk the feet in, take hold of the plate, press it out in front of chest height or hold it in. 4 weighted dragon squats. Last one. Plate back to the mat, hands on the plate, step back. 3 hip snap burpees. Snapping the hips high each time. Stepping on the plate. Hands to the plate, step back to your downward dog. 2 push-ups. Stand up tall. Final one of this round. WTF press. Standing tall with the plate overhead. Nice. Movement number 7. Sitting yourself down on the mat. You can either have the legs bent or legs extended. Doing some Turkish sit-ups. Ideally, we're going to use the plate. If you can't, just focus on the sit-ups. Work at your own range. Bring the plate in towards the chest. Press it up overhead. Keep the midline engaged, lower yourself down. Pressing the plate up above you. Sit back up. 6 more, just like that. One more. Bringing the plate back down in front. Heading into down dog toe taps. Stepping back to your downward dog. Right hand to left ankle. Shoulders come forward. One more on each side. Shoulders come back over the plate. Back to downward dog. Knees down wide, big toes together. Child's pose. 5 child's pose press-ups. You can always lower your knees if you need to. Back to child's pose to finish. Coming back to stand up by the plate. 4 dragon squats this time. Holding the plate in or out in front. One more each side. Put it back down to the ground. Plant the hands, step back to your plank. 3 hip snap burpees. One more. Hands back down to the plate, step back to your downward dog. 2 down dog push-ups. Bringing the feet back to the plate, stand up tall, and 1 WTF press. Stand up tall with the plate overhead to finish. Plate back down to the ground. Movement number 8. Standing on the plate this time, we're going to do sit single leg RDLs. We're going to take our right leg back behind us, bring the fingertips down to tap the plate, standing back up tall, planting the right foot, 7 more, alternating the leg each time. Two more. Stepping back off the plate, bring yourself down to the mat. 7 Turkish sit-ups, weighted or not. Work to your own capacity. 7 reps. Bringing the plate back down to the ground. Making your way into your downward dog. Hands on the plate. 6 downward dog toe tap. Right hand to left ankle. Shoulders back over the plate each time. Two more. Knees back down to the mat, big toes together. 5 child's pose press-ups. Last one. Standing up tall on the mat, bringing the plate into the chest. Either he's seen here or pressing it out in front for your 4 dragon squats. One more. Plate back down to the ground, plant the hands. Step back to your plank. 3 hip snap burpees. Standing on the plate to finish. 2 more. Stand up tall. Downward dog, step the feet back. 2 push-ups with the hands on the plate. Bringing the feet to the plate, standing up tall for that final movement. WTF press. Plate overhead to finish, back down to the ground. Movement number 9 is a ground to overhead. Taking the feet slightly wider than hip width, take hold of the plate and bring the top edge to the mat. Holding onto either side, you're going to keep the back of the legs long and the core engaged. You're going to press the plate into the chest and then up overhead, taking it back into the chest, back down to the ground. 8 more reps. Just 2 more. Pressing the plate up overhead, taking it back down to the mat, and stepping onto the plate for those 8 single leg RDLs. Right leg back, tapping the plate. And 6 more. Last one. Standing up tall, stepping off the plate, coming back down into a seat. We've got our 7 Turkish sit-ups. Your choice with the weight. 7 reps. Bring the plate back down to the mat, making your way forwards, hands to the plate, stepping the feet back, coming into downward dog for our 6 downward dog toe taps, moving the shoulders over the plate each time. Back into that plank position, knees to the mat, hips back, 5 child's pose press-ups. Last one. Back into that child's pose, making your way to standing for the 4 dragon squats. Holding the plate into the chest or out in front. Two more. Plate back down to the mat. Hip snap burpees. Step back to plank. Lower down, standing on the plate to finish. 2 more. Hands onto the plate, step back. 2 down dog push-ups. Walking the feet back to the plate. For that final movement again, the WTF press. Standing up tall with the plate overhead. Bringing it back down and standing up to finish. Movement number 10, The end is in sight. Taking the plate back up to the chest, either hold it in or out, your preference. We're going to squeeze the right knee in, tip the right ankle to the left knee, squat the hips back, stand back up, squeeze the knee in, take it to the other side. 8 more. Last 2. Placing the plate back down to the ground, we're back to our 9 ground to overheads. Edge of the plate on the mat, take it in, press it up overhead, back down to the mat. 8 more. Two more. Plate back down to the ground. Sit down for those Turkish sit-ups. If you're using the weight, take it up overhead. 7 reps. Last one. Place the plate back down to the ground. Hands onto the plate. Downward dog position. We're going into our toe taps. Right hand to left ankle. Shoulders come over the plate. 5 more. Knees to the mat, child's pose. 5 child's pose press ups. Going forwards each time. You can always drop down to the knees in the press ups. Just work to your own level. Back to that child's pose. Coming forward, stepping up, picking that plate back up. Option to keep it into the chest or press it out in front. For your dragon squats, right leg first. 3 more. Plate back down. 3 hip snap burpees. And from here back down to that downward dog position. 2 downward dog push-ups. Stand up tall. Last movement. WTF press. Plate up overhead. Plate back down to the mat. Movement number 11. Bringing yourself down to the mat. We're coming into a high plank position. Shoulders over the wrists. Option to be on the knees if you need to. We're going to step off the plate down onto the forearms. From here, back up onto the plate. 10 more of those. Two more. Finishing in your high plank, step the feet in, take hold of the plate and bring it into the chest. We've got our 10 pigeon chair squats. Plate can be into the chest or out in front. Squeeze the knee in. Right ankle to left thigh, squat down. Stand up. Nice. 8 more. This is the last one. Plate down to the ground. Ground to overhead. Take the plate up. Arms locked out. 8 more reps. Last one. Placing the plate down, stepping up on the plate for our 8 single leg RDLs. Bringing the fingertips down each time and standing up tall. 7 more. Two left. Nice. Back down to that seat for our 7 Turkish sit-ups. Weight pressed overhead if you're using it. 7 reps. Two more. Plate back down to the mat and coming into that downward dog position. Legs are long. 6 down dog toe taps. Bringing the shoulders over the plate each time. Bringing the knees down to the mat for those child's pose press-ups. 5 reps. Sitting the hips back and bringing yourself up to stand on the mat for our dragon squats. 4 reps. Last one. Plate back down for your 3 hip snap burpees, taking the feet back, standing on the plate to finish, 2 more reps. Hands to the plate for your downward dog, 2 push-ups. Stepping back up to the top of the mat for that WTF press. Plate pressed overhead. Back down to the mat. This is our last round. Okay, our final round for 12 Days of Christmas is 12 deck squats. We only have to do these once. Standing up tall at the top of the mat. I'll talk you through the first one. We're going to take ourselves down to the ground, rock back, toes to the sky, feet back to the mat, stand up tall to finish, keep it quite snappy. We're going to do 11 more. Four more. Try and keep the pace. Last one. Standing up tall. Straight into movement number 11, which is our low to high plank, stepping the feet back, starting with the hands on the plate, shoulders over the wrist, lowering down to your forearms, and then back onto the plate. 10 more. Just 2 more. From there, stepping the feet in, grabbing onto the plate, and we're coming into our standing one-legged chair pigeon pose. Squeeze the right knee in, lower the hips, stand up, opposite side. 8 more. One more left. Standing with the feet slightly wider than hip width, taking the plate to the ground for our ground to overhead. 9 reps. Last one. Plate down to the ground, 8 RDLs. Taking the fingertips down to the plate each time. Standing up tall. 6 more. Into the last one. 7 Turkish sit-ups. Sitting down into your seat. Again, weight or not, this is the last time we're doing this. So try to keep up with the effort. 6 more. Six. Down dog toe taps. Hands onto the plate. Right hand to left ankle. Shoulders over the wrists each time. Knees down to the mat. 5 child's pose press-ups. Oh, halfway there now. You can always lower the knees if you need to. Try and keep pushing through. Last one. Standing up. Grabbing hold of the plate and back into those dragon squats. Plate can either be in towards the chest or out in front. Your arms are probably feeling it by now, but we've just got 4 reps. If you're shaking, I am too. Plate back down to the ground. 3 hip snap burpees. We're really close to the end now. We're trying to keep the movements quite snappy. 2 more reps. Downward dog push-ups. 2 reps. Standing up tall. For our final movement, 1 WTF press to finish. Plate up overhead, arms locked out, plate back down to the ground, and that is the end.
Thank you so much for tuning in to all of the flow sessions. If you haven't done any of the other ones, then head back to Building.God's YouTube to check them out. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you was tired as I am, because that was quite tough. But thank you, have a great Christmas, and we will be back in the new year. Thanks. I'm done.